My mic is muted. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I'm the badass Buddha, Lori Monaco. We got a little late start. Gladiator Guru is on her way. Let me get on myself here. We did not have our Facebook start either, so I had to recalibrate, reboot, all that lovely stuff. Gladiator Guru is still walking. She will be here shortly. She sent me a text message around 7:13 in the morning and said that she still had 6 more kilometers to go. So she's going to be a tired cookie when she shows up, but she'll have lots of stuff to share with us. So we hope you had a great weekend. What'd you do? Hopefully the weather was nice. I am broadcasting, as most of you know, from Eastern Tennessee, where the weather has been absolutely spectacular, like seriously spectacular. Good morning, Milagros. Hola. Anyway, it's and I've been so thrilled because we've had a lot of rain, which is great, but it was so nice to just have so many consecutive sunny days, and it was in the low 80s here, and it was just really spectacular. So I was outside a lot. I got some color. It was great. And I got a lot of yard work done. That's the other thing. Having this much acreage tends to make you use up a lot of your time. The funny part is we don't even cut like 3 of the acres, but I do cut 2 of the acres, and it's a lot. Plus we have a garden that we're getting prepped for. We're behind schedule. We should have planted a while ago. Luckily, the growing season is extra long here in Tennessee, and we'll be able to be growing past the season. Good morning, Kathy. Thank you for being here this morning. So Gladiator Guru will be here shortly. Hopefully she will find a great connection and be able to set up very quickly where she is. I'm not sure what happened that they got behind this morning. Maybe they thought the route was a little bit shorter, because that happens sometimes. That's what she has said. But anyway, so this week, what's going on this week? So I'll give you a preview of what's going on this week, and we'll get started. So today is Push It Fast and Hard. Yes, we wanted to be a little dirty with that. We're going to be talking about getting out of that comfort zone. Okay. So we want you to push it fast and hard. And then Thursday will be push it slow and soft, right? Because it's not always fast and hard. Sometimes soft is nice. So Thursday will be feeding your spirit, and taking pause is still pushing, especially when you are very clear on what you're doing. And remember, this is the push month. We're almost at the end. Next week is the last full week of May. Could you believe it? I cannot believe that we're almost in June. Just to catch you up on a few things. I think Gladiator Guru said she is going to be in Spain, I think, for the first week or 2 weeks of June. And June is our ready, set, go month. So we're going to be really pushing. We're really going to be making things happen. It's a take action month. Let's see what happened on my personal side. My youngest daughter is already finished with school. She's thrilled because all her counterparts and friends up north are still in school for another 3 weeks. And I think maybe even 4, depending on where they're getting out of. And she's done. She finished yesterday. She finished with high honors, which I was thrilled. My daughter's never had high honors. My daughter's been in honors, but she's never had high honors before. And she won all kinds of awards for reading and so on and so forth. So I'm very happy about that. Good morning, Gail. Thank you for being here today. Don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe. We really appreciate that. Let everybody know that you're on with us. We love those of you that have YouTube and Facebooks, that you put them on simultaneously. It just helps with our views. But especially, ride us out the rest of this month. Next weekend, or this coming weekend, is Memorial Day weekend. It is our long weekend. It starts officially summer, right? I put the quotes on there. Summer starts. We know summer doesn't really start till June, but that's the official seasonal start of summer. And for those of you that live in areas where it's summer all the time, yeah, you really don't pay attention to it, I guess, like in Florida. But we are going to be celebrating this weekend in a lot of ways, right? Memorial Day is to celebrate those who have passed, that have fought in wars and so on and so forth. But it's a time for people to get together and enjoy each other. Good morning, Tony. Thank you for being here. Those of you that are on late, Gladiator Guru will be on shortly. She had sent me a text message around 7:13 this morning that she was 6 kilometers away, so she still had to get there and hook in. So hopefully she will get here, and we will have to end on time too, because I've got a full schedule myself. So I'm going to have to let her know that when she gets on that I can't go much past our 9 o'clock hour this morning. So anyway, let us know how your weekend was, and let us know what your plans are for this weekend. Remember, this is the push month. Have you been pushing yourself? What have you been doing to really step up and show yourself who you are? I know that Kathy's been posting some really great stuff. I know that Gail's been doing her podcast, her video presentations, lots of views. I'm seeing, Gail. That's wonderful. And it's good to see you up and doing stuff, Gail. I know you didn't have a lot of energy, and it's nice to see you really just jumping right back in as soon as you got it. She said, I spent the weekend in Connecticut, in Greenwich. Okay. Yes, the Greenwich. That's the hoity-toity area. Greenwich was about 45 minutes from where I used to live. So it was nice that you were in Greenwich. It was nice that you were in Connecticut. So that's wonderful that you spent the time there. And then what are you all doing this weekend? This weekend, I don't know. You know, we had a festival here. So one thing I love about living down here, the amount of things to do is it's incredible. There's always something going on. There's always some sort of event. There's always some sort of outdoor activity. We went to something called the Iris Festival, which was awesome. It was in the town that's closest to us, Greenville. It is the city that I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce. And it was great. It was an outdoor, they blocked off streets. It was downtown Greenville, and it was vendors and lots of foods, and they had some activities for the kids, and they have crafting tables and things like that. But it was really, really great. It was all weekend. We went on Saturday, and then Sunday, I just, like I said, did yard work. But the coolest thing that's coming up actually is something called the Firefly Festival. And you have to have a lot. This thing is so small that you have to put you have to register for a lottery. They only let a certain amount of people in. It's done in the Cherokee National Forest. If you win, and we're crossing our fingers that we won, if you win tickets, you get to just take a whole carload of people. It's $25 for a carload. And then you go there and you get out of your car and you stay in one particular area of the rangers get you into one area of the Cherokee National Forest. And all the fireflies, I don't know if they're released or if they're just there because it's mating season or something like that. But it's like incredible to see. So we're hoping that we won. We were supposed to find out yesterday, so I have to I haven't checked my emails to see if I had won. But anyway, I'm surprised I did. I totally forgot about it. But anyway, so let's talk about push it fast and hard. We wanted to get a little dirty. Gladiator Guru and I were talking about the fact that we used to be a little bit funnier. We used to be a little dirtier and risque more often in our first year. And we sort of calmed down a little bit over time. But we really wanted to push that. In fact, September is going to be a lot of fun. Wait till you see what we have created for September. We haven't put anything together for June yet, but we got September into play, but there's a good reason for that. So it is push it hard and push it fast. So push it hard and fast. So we're going to be talking about getting out of your comfort zone. So I'm going to ask Gail to step in here too until Gladiator Guru comes on. Let's talk about getting out of your comfort zone. What does that mean for you? What are some of the things that you know that you do that keep you comfortable and that you know that gets in the way of your push? Okay. So I'll give you some examples of mine, like if the things that I fall back on, that's what we're talking about. The things that you fall back on that give you the excuse to not push yourself. Okay. So for me, in my lifetime, some of my things that I fall back on, my comfort zone is cleaning, organizing. There will always be something to clean in the house. There will always be something to organize. Doing yard work, all of that is something that keeps me comfortable, right? I like to do it. Not everybody likes to do that, but I actually like to do that. Keeps me comfortable, and it doesn't allow me to push myself. Now, I have to make sure, listen, we have a big house here. We have a big property. And a lot of that falls onto me, partially because my sister's usually really, really busy with her business, her company that she works for. And I have a lot more flexibility in my schedule. However, I have to be very mindful of the fact that I have to make sure that this is getting done, this is getting done, this is getting done, and then I will do the other things. So, and you also have to be mindful of the fact, like, for instance, because this property is so big, and I also have to have a certain look because I have patients that actually physically come to this location. We don't want things sloppy, so things have to be tidied up. There's still a lot of stuff that we still have to put 2 more parking spaces in. We have to fix some of the landscaping and things like that. It's happening, but we have to do it with by the weather, so I may block out a time and say, okay, I'm going to work on the yard today at this hour, and then it's raining. So then I have to be able to shift and do other stuff, and sometimes it's not easy, because if your mind was set to do that thing, then you have to reboot. Sometimes it's a hard shift, especially if what you're doing is very physical versus something that you need to do that's mental. But we also have to be mindful of the fact that we're not using it as the excuse. So what is the fallback that you're comfortable with? Okay, if I was supposed to be doing one of the landscaping areas and it's raining, then the natural thing for me to do would be to do paperwork or marketing or anything like that for my business, because it's inside. Or maybe take care of something on the inside that needs to be fixed or taken care of, right? Because we're still renovating in here. I still have painting to do in this room, and my patients come in with my partial trim not painted. It drives me crazy. So, but I have to make sure that I don't put something in there that isn't pushing me forward. And sometimes we do that because we get into a space where we want to sort of self-sabotage. We know we have things that we need to do that are going to push us forward, and then we kind of drag our feet. Like, I have a house that I have to put up for sale up north. It's a 2-family house. It has been a thorn in my side for many years. Although I'm grateful that I've had it, and I'm grateful that it's something that I own and I can liquidate. But I haven't been in the headspace to be able to sit and put it down, but I need to get going on that. So that is something that I have to push myself fast and hard. What is it, the things that that you can push yourself fast and hard? Now, on Thursday, we're going to be talking about, we said this before, push it slow and soft. Sometimes pushing things fast, if you are not in the right headspace, can make you make bad choices. You won't think it through completely. But there's sometimes where you don't need to think it through. That thinking it through is causing the problem. You're overthinking it. I want to see what, Tony had to go. All right. So Kathy wrote, we've been doing quite a bit for others this past month, shifting into a combination weekend this week. Next month, Marty's taking off a week for 40th anniversary. I know, I can't believe you guys have been married that long. You guys don't look old enough to be married that long. We're going to be doing home things around the house. Gail says, I have dug into creating my offer and program. Fantastic, Gail. Fantastic. I can fall back on cleaning house, taking care of animals, watching just one program. Right. And, sometimes I'll couple it, if I know I have to clean something and it has to be done, has to be organized. Sometimes I will put I do this a lot. I will put my phone on and stream a video, or I'll put music on, because I kind of like both. And I feel like I'm getting my little fix of listening to or watching something, but I'm also getting other stuff done. Because I honor the fact that I do like watching certain programs and I do like listening to certain music. So I'd like to try to combine them as not to waste time in just sitting and watching. Gail says, I've created a schedule, a list of things to get done in order to stay somewhat on track. Yep. And my good morning, my beautiful sister. Sometimes we need to take a break for ourselves to regenerate. As my sister is saying that, laying in bed sick. Yes, absolutely. You have to. But there's a point where you have to also be mindful if you're taking too much time, and also being efficient with the time that you're using, because that's the other thing. When we push ourselves, it's telling us, especially when we push ourselves fast and hard, we're basically saying to ourselves, this is really important to me. Like, this has got to be done. I'm on a time limit. This has got to be done. Okay. I'll give you an example. Moved here in October. I got everything transferred over for my business to Tennessee. My license I had gotten earlier, but the business itself, franchise tax, all those things I got taken care of. And by January, I was ready to go, but I wasn't ready to go mentally. So February, I started to network myself. Now here we are, it's May, it's the middle of May, and I've been networking a lot. I've been doing that a lot and meeting a lot of people and getting out there, making friends along with networking people. And I have about 6 patients, which is great. And they all came from one didn't. Let me see. One came from Google, because I made sure I had my Google presence, and then the rest of them came from networking, and they'll keep coming. Plus events and opportunities. So today, I actually have a busy day today at 11:30. I'm going to be doing a first responders event that I was invited to by somebody that I network with. And she wants me to bring myself, introduce myself. I don't have a booth, but I'm just there to introduce myself and network and give out flyers. And she asked me if I would donate some services, which I gladly did. And that's one of the things that I want to get involved with. So for instance, Gail, you're talking about your, what did you say? You are putting your offer and your program, right? So for them, I made sure that I put flyers specifically to them, told them what my strong points are specifically to them, and also put that I give a lifetime discount for first responders, because I do. And that could be something that they might be excited about, especially for those that live close by. And then right after that, I have I'm teaching a short little workshop at an assisted living facility. And again, it's about getting out there and pushing ourselves. I haven't done that in a long time. And in fact, I'm bringing with me things that I haven't used in a really long time. A lot of you don't know, my certification for coaching is through the Institute of Heart Math, and which is fabulous, by the way. And the Institute of Heart Math has these really cool gadgets. Hey, good morning, Eric, my friend Eric from school. Good morning, Eric. I'm glad to see you're here. So my certification, so Institute of Heart Math has these really cool little gadgets. I can't see if I have them, but here's one of them. This is one of them right here. And what it does is it recognizes heart-brain coherence. It checks to see, like, it does this fancy little thing. One of them is on the app on the phone. The other one is for the laptop. And it teaches you how to breathe accordingly. And you follow the little gauge. And then you also have to, you see if you're connecting, and it'll tell you by a graph, and it'll tell you what your heart rate is. And I guess it's sort of like a biofeedback kind of mechanism, but it teaches you how to calm yourself. So I haven't used these in a really, really long time. I'm talking like probably about 5 years, and out in the public. Normally I'll do it sometimes with clients, but I'm excited because I haven't used them in so long. So I had to get back into thinking about them, I had to plug them in. I had to make sure they were charged. I had to remember how to use them because I haven't used them in a while in a group setting. So I'm excited about that. We'll see what happens. But again, it's about what is your comfort zone. Or getting out of your comfort zone. As we get older, here's the way this works. The more we push ourselves, yes, we're not that old, okay? We still need to push ourselves so that we can skate down at the end. It doesn't mean you still can't participate in life. It just means that, you know what? I did this, I did that. There's no regrets, because we only really truly, the worst regrets are what we didn't do, not what we did. especially if you learn from them. If what you did, it wasn't great and you learn from it, that's fantastic. But if you feel guilty about what you did, then that's not good. You're not going to be working on a high vibrational energy. So the best thing to do is at least give it a try. And I hate that word. I'm not a fan of it, but that's the reality of it, is sometimes we don't know until we actually try. Just like trying food for the first time that you've never eaten in your whole entire life. And now you're like, I'm in my house, I'm in my 50s and I'm going to be eating this. Give it a try. You may like it. You may not like it. Who knows? So push yourself, get out of that comfort zone, so that when we get to that age where we finally say, I'd like to slow down, I'd like to enjoy what I have created, you will enjoy it with no guilt, no shame, no resentment. You will just look back and say, I really kicked ass. I really did great. I pushed myself and now I'm here, right? Because what ends up happening is we get caught up in the minutia of things, like we'll be putting together something and we'll create something and we'll keep doing it. And it's great in the beginning, but then we evolve. But if we do not evolve with what we're creating, then we get stagnant or we get frustrated or we just throw up our arms and accept it and stay in that comfort zone. And then after 5 years, and then after 10 years, and then after about, 15 years, we start getting angry because that's the choice that we made. And the thing is that we only have ourselves. We're not getting younger. Time doesn't go any slower. I mean, look, we're almost in June. Okay. We have 2 more weeks left and we're almost in June. And I mean, I could sit there and say, I'm in my early 50s. This is, I'm not getting any younger. I'm not. Okay. I'm starting from scratch, starting my business from scratch. And I could be freaked out by this, but I'm actually not, because I'm happy that I'm here. This is where I need to be. I could sit there and focus on the fact that it took me so long to get out of where I was. In hindsight, I'm going to shit on myself for a minute. And I've said this before, I should have left that, Connecticut. I should have moved away about 6 years ago. I should have made different choices with regards to the people that were around me. I should have done that over the last 4 or 5 years. Had I moved out 6 years ago, it would have been completely different, because I would have been away from any of those people. And again, it's not about the people. It is about me. It's my response to the situations. It's my response to people. I'm accountable for me. It's not them. It's me. Just easier to say it's them, but it's me. So I could sit there and look at that. But the bottom line is I wasn't ready to go. There was nothing pushing me hard enough. I wasn't pushing myself hard enough. And for some odd reason, I needed to stay longer. And my thought is that it was there so that I can impart that wisdom to other people. I'm here now. I could say, and actually it would have been almost, let me see, about eight years, not even 6, 8 years. And 8 years have gone by. But you know what? I've learned a lot in these 8 years. I've become a much different person. And especially in the last, I would say in the last 8 months, maybe actually 10 months, there's been such a significant change. So getting out of your comfort zone, what is it that you're, not allowing yourself to do? What is it? There's certain things that you're still comfortable with, that you feel like, I really would like to do this. Like, I really want to get going on this. Or I'd really love to travel, far away. Like, I'd really love to go take a really, really big trip. But there's the but. But I don't really have the money. But I don't have the time. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to start. Those are all keeping you in that comfort zone. Hi, Gail. Yeah. And thank you for coming on YouTube, Gail. I appreciate it. This is all about pushing yourself. And sometimes you do have to push hard and fast, because if you've been going at a snail's pace and that's not working for you, you have got to pick up the pace. It's just like if you're running on a treadmill and you're just doing a slow jog the whole time, and you've been doing a slow jog for this past year, and you're saying to yourself, I mean, I feel good, but I feel like, one of my goals was to increase my stamina. And one of my goals was to keep going and increase my abilities, but I'm staying the same speed on that treadmill, and I don't even feel like it's effort anymore. It's interesting. My sister, my middle daughter, and I, we go and work out at a place. It's called Orange Theory Fitness. They're all over the country, and they make you wear these monitors, right? And then they tell you in the monitor, it goes by colors. If your heart rate is at a certain level, you're one color. If it's at a next level, you're another color. So it goes like blue, green, orange, red. And orange and red are the fat burning zones. They're when your heart rate is really, really fast. And the red zone is when it's at the fastest. And it's interesting because when I'm on the treadmill, I pay attention to the fact. Now, one thing is, because I've been meditating for a really long time, my resting heart rate is very low. My pulse rates are very low. When I breathe, I can keep my heart rate pretty low, even when I'm doing something physical, and especially on a treadmill, because the floor is going for you. If I'm walking outside, it's a little bit different if I have to propel myself. But so it takes me a little bit longer to get my heart rate up, even when I'm running faster. So I've played around with this. However, I sometimes will not push myself because I'm like, I don't want to really run that fast today, or, whatever. But I stay in that blue or green, or in the green zone for an extended period of time. And so I look at it and say, if I push myself a little bit more, if I run a little bit faster, if I put the incline up a little bit more, I'm going to get into the orange. And if I really push myself, I'm going to get into the red. And they're always pushing you. They're always telling you to up it a notch and everything. You go back down and you up it. It depends on the day. But this has been very enlightening to me, because I'll ask myself, why am I still in the green? What am I not feeling it today? Am I not capable of it today? What would it take for me to push myself? And there's moments where I have pushed myself and I've gotten and stayed in the red, and it was tough, But the cool thing is the awareness that I've gained just from this, like just from the exercise, is knowing that I can do it. I'm capable of doing it. The question is, what's important to me? What's my end game? For me, I like endurance, but I don't have to do endurance at a fast pace. I'm fine with that. Now, does that get me to run on a road? No, because it is harder. Treadmills are easier compared to running on a road. And especially here when you have so many hills and inclines, but if my end game is to run on the road at a decent rate and for a significant period of time without stopping, then I have to up my game on the treadmill and then get my tush out on the road, because that's the only way that I'm going to prepare myself. So getting out of your comfort zone is about preparing yourself. It's pushing yourself beyond your comfort. Pushing yourself, because you are capable, you're resilient, you're able to do it. If you don't have the stamina with your push, you build up to it. But you set your sights on and say, I'm going to do this much today. I'm going to do this much today. So like if you are remodeling your house, if you are doing a landscape or lawn activity, garden activity, and then there's this huge amount of work to do, you say, I'm going to push myself to do this. I'm going to push myself to do this. I'm going to do just this much today. I'm going to do just that much today. If it's your business, I'm going to do just this much today. One of my friends sent me this book, and I know some of you probably have seen it before, the time chunking method. I've heard about it, and I'm just going to, it looks like it's a pretty fast read. So I'm going to give it a try. And Gail's probably heard of it. Gail's pretty much read every book and heard of every book. But I would like to chunk my time up a little bit better, because I have so many parts to my world, between the business and putting together the outside to help the business, but also for our own personal gain. And I need to make sure that I'm chunking properly so that I'm more efficient with my time. Most of the time, what I do is once I start doing something, I get very, very focused, and I can do that thing for like 10 hours straight and then leave the other things behind, which is great to get that one thing done. But then it leaves the others behind. And unless I'm efficient with if that's okay, like yesterday was it, let me see, yesterday was Monday. So Sunday and Monday, the weather was really good here. And so I was pacing myself, doing this amount outside, then coming in and doing this amount inside, and taking care of paperwork and doing projects that I had started. And if it was raining, like Saturday we went out in the morning, it was nice, and then we came back, the weather got crappy, and I came in and I was doing projects that I'm working on for my business. So it's about making sure that you stay steadfast, but it's uncomfortable. It's not easy for me to do that because I tend to be so one-sided, like I'm start this project, I'm going to keep going to that project, So let's see what Gail says. Gail says, I started planning my road trips August. I've been held back by outside forces. I'm now putting a line in the sand. No, so I want to talk about that for a second. So Gail, you're right. Outside forces, sometimes shit does get in the way. Sometimes there are legitimate excuses. What Gail was going through was harsh, it zapped her energy. It zapped her focus. It zapped her thought process. She had to just go with it. And the irony is she still managed to create a manuscript in midst of this, which is fantastic, by the way. But she did a little bit at a time because that's all she had the energy for. So it's a matter of acknowledging that I'm not 100%. See, there's a legit excuse. And then there's, I just don't feel like it today. I have the ability to do it, but I'm not in the right headspace. Now, sometimes you have to be in the right headspace to do certain things. I will give that. But if you're not in the right headspace today and you give yourself grace and you do something else, keep yourself busy, that's not necessarily, a big thought, big thinker, a big thinking activity. But the next day comes and you say the same thing, I'm not in the right headspace. And the next day, I'm not in the right headspace. You've got to acknowledge that, and you've got to get that under control, because those become not great excuses. Okay. If you're sick, so my sister's not feeling well, she needs to take the time and give it to herself. If she pushes herself anymore, she could actually get sicker, which is going to be more of a problem. So she acknowledges that she was supposed to go out of town, and she's saying, I have to postpone it because that's just going to be too taxing on me. So I'm going to see how I feel in whatever amount of days. Okay. So it's about honoring self, being aware of self, acknowledging when you don't want to get out of your comfort zone because you're purposely sabotaging yourself, but acknowledging when it's a legitimate excuse. Okay, I can't do it today, but I'm definitely going to do it tomorrow. And then you do. And then you push yourself. And that's where also accountability partners are really, really good, because they're going to call you out on it. They're going to say, you know what? You said you were going to do it and you didn't do it. What's the reason you didn't do it? And if you get pissed for them saying that, then they're on the right track. That they're pushing you to do it, and you're getting mad because you know that you were supposed to do it. You know that you can't. They're not going to let you call out that excuse, And it's one thing when we put something to the side in our own thing. So let's talk about what Gladiator Guru's working on. And I was hoping that she would be, or it might have taken her longer to get where she's going. When you're walking on the Camino and you know that you've got X amount of miles to go before you get to your next destination, you can't just give an excuse and say, you know what, I'm not comfortable anymore. I'm going to sit and wait, and I'm just going to sit here for a while. Now, you might need to rest. That's legit. But you have to say to yourself, okay, well, if I allow myself to rest for 30 minutes, then it's going to take me 6 hours to walk. Then I will get here by this time. And then I can, I'll take a shower. I'll do this. In her space, you cannot make too many excuses. If you injure yourself, you have to keep moving forward. If you're tired, you have to keep going. The other option is to just sleep where you are. And it's not always feasible. It's not always a possibility where she is. So she has to keep moving. She has to keep going. And it's easy when it is, and I don't mean the term easy like it's easy to do. I'm saying it's easy to actually push yourself in a physical mode like that because you have no other choice. Like you cannot stop where you are. There was a point where she was saying that they were literally walking alongside the road. Like the cars were going by, there were big trucks going by, that it was very disconcerting and it wasn't pleasant. There was things being blown in their face, stuff being thrown up on them, because it had rained. And she said that they had to keep trudging through. Now, what if they were so fatigued that they just plopped and said, I can't do this anymore? Now, granted, they might have been able to wave somebody down and see if they can get a ride. That's a possibility. But if that was not a possibility, let's say this wasn't a road that was busy. Let's just say this was a road that would get people periodically. You've got to keep moving. You can't stop, because this is not a great place to be able to just camp out. So you have to keep moving. We make excuses in our lives for these little things. Well, I could put that off till tomorrow. I could do that tomorrow. I'm tired today. Now, if you're tired and you really have put a lot of effort into something, then allow yourself to sleep. Allow yourself to go rest. Maybe you're not quite tired enough to go to sleep, but you're physically tired and you're like, oh, I want to just sit and watch a little bit, of my favorite show. Nothing wrong with that. There's sometimes personal development people are a little too hard on people about taking moments to watch a little, TV or something like that. I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm a big fan of that, but I don't watch just anything. I watch very specific stuff, but it's your time. You use it and you use it efficiently. That's the whole point. So, but when you are slacking, when you know that things need to move faster, then you need to know that you are capable of pushing it fast and pushing it hard, pushing it beyond. I injured my knee. It's been like about a month and a half ago. And again, based on the testing that I've done, I didn't do an MRI, which would have been the definitive diagnosis, but based on the testing that they did with the ortho PA, it's a mild tear to the meniscus in my knee, which is not great. That sucker either never heals or it takes a really long time to heal. So I am not crossing my fingers. I am knowing the resilience of my body, and I've been helping it along with taking things and to get rid of it. But the swelling's still there. Like I can't do the things that I normally could do. However, though, I am grateful because it has not stopped me. I could walk, I could run, It's funny because it's just certain moves. I'll be standing there and I'll just lean a little bit or I'll twist a little bit, and boy, it'll catch and it hurts like hell in that moment. Sometimes it hurts at the end of the day if I've done too much, but I have not been limited tremendously. I hate it when been sitting too long and I get up and I have to wobble, because at first it's like a little bit sore and then I have to move it around. That drives me insane. I can't wait till that's gone. But I'm able to go work out. I'm able to push myself on the treadmill and go faster because I've done it. I start off slow. I'll say, let's see what I can do. I'm not going to, because I do not want to make this worse. So the worst thing you could do is make a knee or shoulder worse than they are, or a hip. So I know my limits. I know my body really well. It's taken me a long time to be very cohesive with my body. And I have pushed myself on that treadmill and know what I can do. And I celebrate in the resilience of my body. I celebrate the fact that I can push myself. I don't use it as an excuse. Oh, well, I hurt my knee, so I can't do that. In the beginning, I was a little leery about working out. So I did take a couple of weeks off. Then I started back in. I put a knee brace on. I put some K-tape on. I didn't do certain moves, but then I started to test the waters to see what I could do. But that's pushing it. Now, pushing it fast and hard is to say, you know what? I want to see what I can do. So I'm going to put the treadmill speed up a little bit faster. So that represents for me, it's an example of how if I could push my body, and my body's that resilient, why can't I push my emotional state of being? Why can't I push my mental state of being? Why can't I push myself into creating and doing and moving forward? Okay. And that's what we have to do. Sometimes if we're a little bit behind, I got a little bit behind with my business. There was a little bit of a wonky time in the early March where I started to slow down a little bit. And then there was, I think in late February, I got a little bit of a cold, but now I've got to push it, right? So today is a push. Today is push fast and hard. Today is I'm going to rock it out of the park when I go to do these events today. And then at the end of the day, at the dinner, it's nonstop. I have a meeting, not a meeting. It's like a ladies' dinner, get together. We network, we talk, we hang out. That's at dinner time. And my goal is to feel energetic enough to attend that. And it's not for anything, but it could be for collaboration, but it's mostly for friendship. It's mostly for them to get to know me. I get to know them. And then we connect, hey, if somebody wants to refer, hey, you know what? I know that Dr. Lori, she's over on that your end of town. Why don't you go check her out? And I say the same thing to them. So this is a push day. All right. Tomorrow will be a quieter day. It'll be being back in my office doing paperwork. Today's not a paperwork day because I'm going to be out of the office more than I'm going to be home. So let's see what else Gail had to say. Gail said, I really do one thing a little out of my comfort zone to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I also get a buddy to commit with me when I find myself putting things off too much. Yeah, the accountability partner is key. And, Gladiator Guru and I have talked about this, that we want to be, if we are not, we want to be your accountability partners. You could reach out to us and say, I'm struggling with this. I need a kick in my butt. She and I are accountability partners to each other for certain things. My sister is an accountability partner for me. My kids are accountability partners for me. A lot of my friends, some of them aren't. Some of them are just plain friends. We have a great time, but others will question and ask me things. Did you get this done? And sometimes I'm my own accountability partner when I see other people moving forward and they're going faster and I'm taking my damn sweet time, but accountability is very crucial. Gail says, I time block always. Yep. Time blocking that's why we're going to do I'm going to see what he has to say about time chunking. Yes, those whys, right? So clarity on your what and your why. And if you're not sure what all of that is, Simon Sinek has got a beautiful video. He's got a lot of videos on this. And if anybody remembers, I have such a crush on that dude, man. He's such a nerdy cutie pie. He's so hot. It's ridiculous. But he also has a lot of cool stuff to say. But it's about your what. What is it that you want? What do you want to achieve? What do you want in your life? What makes you happy? And then why do you want it? It's not enough to just say, this is what I want. The why puts the emotion behind it. The why makes it important. Because if it is not important to you, you will find an excuse. Remember the expression, if it's important to you, you will find a way. If not, you will find an excuse. And that is so true. It's so true. If it is not a priority to you, it's going to be put on the back burner and you will make every excuse in the book not to do it. So if it's important to you, you will find a way. If not, you will find an excuse. Gail says, thank you for that, Kathy. Sometimes I have a heart-to-heart talk with myself rather than push. I convince myself that delaying is ridiculous. So good. Yes. See, so that falls into Thursday's conversation, because sometimes we need to push ourselves. Like sometimes I'll say to myself, seriously, Lori, get off your ass and do it. Like there's no reason for you to be like, I have to be that tough coach, and then there's other times where I'm gracious to myself. That's Thursday's conversation, is slow and soft. Sometimes we have to acknowledge and say, listen, the nice voice, you're being ridiculous. Don't do that. You've got to move forward. This is not helping you. So yes, it's important. I think it's important that we find the things that work for us. And if both of those work for you, then do it. Both work for me. I will give myself that space and grace and that kindness. But I also have to kick myself in the ass and say, just like the football coach, go, just to get myself motivated to say, okay, that's enough. That's enough. You're going at a snail's pace. Kick it up a little bit. You can do this. Let's see. All right. So I guess Gladiator Guru is not going to make it. She's going to be so upset. She does not like missing these shows. But again, we want you. So I could see that I won't take it personally, but I'm going to take it personally that we see more people on the show when she's here. So I'm wondering if people just didn't want to show up because she's not here yet. So, but anyway, good morning, Kristen. Thank you for being here. So again, what is it? Pick one thing that you know that needs to be done, that you've been putting on that back burner, that you feel that it's not a comfort thing for you. I feel a little uncomfortable. What's the one thing that you know is uncomfortable for you that you can push hard and fast on? That you can say, okay, enough is enough. I have got to get up and do this. And if you need to tell somebody, say, I'm going to get up and do this. I need to do this. And I need you to check on me tomorrow and make sure that I did this, or check on me later in the day and make sure that I did this. Pick one thing that you know you have a tendency to constantly put on that back burner, and push yourself. But today, tomorrow, do it before Thursday. Push yourself fast and hard. I want to get this done. Sometimes it could be a little area that you just keep walking by in your house. It's like, oh, this one little area, I just keep ignoring. I'll get it tomorrow. But maybe you just say to yourself, okay, I'm not doing that today. I'm going to push myself to get this done right now. At least I'm going to start it. And I'm going to see how long it takes. Because sometimes we get in our headspace and we think that the project is going to be harder and longer than we want it to be. You know what? Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not. So then you start working on the project and you say to yourself, wait, this wasn't so bad. And next thing you know, you finish the project and you're like, what the hell did I wait for so long? Because we have a lot going on. I'm going to use that as a legitimate excuse. True enough. But it's about prioritizing. It's about saying, okay, I have to put the time into this right now. I have to do this. Like I said, I have this trim work that needs to be painted. I kept using the excuse that I needed to find the paint. I knew it was in the barn, and the barn was a disaster area. Well, the barn has now since been cleaned out and organized because I did that. And all the paint, the old paint, has been moved out so that it can be brought to the transfer station. But the good paint recent paint that we painted this house is all where I can see it, and I found the paint. So now I have no excuse. My only excuse currently is time, because I don't have time today and I have paperwork and business stuff to do tomorrow. So I will look at my schedule and I will say, let me see what Thursday and Friday looks like. But you know what? I got a long weekend ahead of me, So the funny part is, it's not even a big piece of trim. It's the fact is that I got to move stuff. So I got to move stuff. I got to unhook stuff. I got to paint. Good morning, Marcos. It will take long, but it won't take long, right? Painting is probably going to take me about 30 minutes to do. Probably will do 2 coats. Like I have to put primer on and do a coat. Okay. Probably take me an hour to paint it. It'll take me 20 minutes to move everything. What am I waiting on? And then the funny part is, every time a patient comes in here, I think, oh my God, they're looking at that going, how come she hasn't painted that yet? And enough already, So those will be on my board my to-do list for between now and not today, but between now and Monday. I do want to spend time with my kids. I want to have some fun. We'll do some fun stuff, but that's it. Good morning, Dana. So it's about prioritizing. It's about pushing myself and saying, okay, enough is enough. If I want to do something at a slower pace, that's fine. When I'm doing busy work, when I'm doing projects for my business that require thought, that require concentration, those are going to go slow. And I have to know that going in, especially when they're not working the way I want them to, even though I've tried numerous ways to do it and it's not coming out right. It's it's frustrating, but I know that this isn't going to be a 2-hour effort. This is probably going to be a 4 to 5 hour block. And in the interim, I have to take breaks. I have to stand up, move around, like I have weights that sit here by my side so that if I'm stuck on something, but I'm at the computer, I'll sometimes just sit there and lift the weights. But that is that slow, steady push, but I'm still moving forward. It's like, it'd be fun to do this weekend. I'll give you something to do this weekend. Get a little group together, because this is going to demonstrate what we talked about today and what we're going to talk about on Thursday. Get a little group together and go to oh my gosh, what's the name of it? I just blanked out on the name. An escape room. Go to an escape room. If you've never done an escape room before, oh my gosh, please do it. They are so much fun. If you've done it before, go to a place that you've never gone to before, or a different room in the place that you've gone to before. Escape rooms are funny because you have to go slow, but at the same time, you have to go fast. You have to go slow because you can't miss the clues. The clues aren't like, they don't give you hints on the clues. You have to find the clues to get the clues. So you have to sort of be fast, but be slow, because you have to pay attention, but your time, you only have 60 minutes. So, and you're locked in there, and they will unlock the door if you don't make it, but you want to see if you can get out yourself. So it's a constant, slow, steady, hard push, fast push. Okay. And do it, and you'll see what I mean, because you'll know that when you know the time, like if you're finding a clue and it's been taking you a long time, and then you finally find it, now that, oh my God, I just took 10 minutes to find that clue. Now I've got to push myself faster to find the other clues. Some clues you'll find really quick and you'll move on to the next thing. But I love it because that's a perfect example of it, But the other thing too is take advantage of this weekend. Get out in nature, connect with nature, connect with yourself, whether you're with a group of people or you're by yourself, but do that. We have a beautiful weekend coming up to where there's so many things that you can do, projects that you can work on, picnics to go to, people to see, to connect with, but block it, like decide, I'm going to do this. Or you may say, I'm going to take Sunday and I'm just going to leave it wide open. I'm going to block myself on Saturday, or I'm going to block myself on Sunday, and Monday's just going to be whatever I feel like it. I'm going to tell you from my own experience, I actually don't prefer those days. I like a day where I have a plan of things to do, because I've noticed with me that if I have zero plan, I will take my time getting up. I mean, I get up early because I have, things to do, take care of animals and stuff, but I'll plop my butt down on a chair. I'll just sip on my coffee. I'll look through something. I'll look on my phone, and next thing I know, an hour has passed and I get so angry at myself, But if I block that, like if I say, okay, I'm going to do this for an hour, I'm better with it, because I will end it in an hour. Sometimes I could be sitting there and all of a sudden an hour and a half has passed. Say, well, I'm just going to sit here for 20 minutes and then I'll get up. But if I'm not paying attention, if I don't have something set, an hour and a half passes and then I get really mad because then I get far behind. So push it fast and hard. Between today and Thursday, what are you going to pick out of the things that you need to do to push it fast and hard? Say, push yourself. I've been dragging my feet on this. I'm going to push myself. Kathy, did you book the trip? Like you said that your husband's taking some time off. Are you going anywhere? Well, you said you're going to do stuff around, but is there some place that the both of you want to go? Look at Gail. Gail's going hard and fast now. She's like, okay, I have my slow time. I'm going to push myself hard and fast now. I'm going to move forward and I'm going to start booking these things out, which one of them is coming to visit me. So it is imperative to do this. And then on Thursday, we'll talk about what it means to be, what did we call it? Slow and soft, honoring self. Okay. I want to get going. Thanks for everybody for being here today. Gladiator Guru, we missed you. She will be back on Thursday. And I'm going to use her thing too, because hers is just too good to not do at the end. So from me, the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary. And from the Gladiator Guru, coming from Spain, in her spirit that is here, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out that bullshit. Namaste.